Councilmember Allen present, Councilmember Cap present, Councilmember Cortez present, Councilmember Harrell, Councilmember Horton, Councilmember Coopin, Councilmember Parker, and Vice Chair Rutherford all present. We will start out with the public comment. And if we can get a little silent in the back, you all are kind of loud back there. Thank you. There is no one signed up for public comment, so without objection, we will move forward with the agenda. We do have a presentation following the agenda from Greg Claxton with the Planning Department to go over our capital improvements budget. So I will go on through the agenda first, and then we'll move to the presentation and questions. Starting with the consent agenda, I'll read the numbers for consent, and if anything needs to be pulled off, please let me know before I read the captions. The consent agenda includes resolutions RS 2025-1020, 1021, 1022, 1024, 1025, 1026, 1027, 1028, 1029. Bills on second reading consent, BL 2025-693, 695, 696, 697, 698, 699, 700, 701, 702. Bills on third reading consent, BL 2024-594, 619, 641. Okay, not on consent, no, not 641. 643, 644, 645, 646, 647, 648, 649, 650, 651, 652, 653, 654, 655, 656, 657, 658, 659, 660, 661, 662, 663, 664, 665, 666, 667, 668, 669, 670, 671, 672, 673, 674, 675, and 676. Do any of those need to be pulled off the consent agenda? Right, I don't see any hands, so with that, I will go on and read the captions. Starting with RS 2025-1020, a resolution authorizing Nashville Urban Partners 2006 LLC to construct, install, and maintain aerial encroachments at 905 Cleve Street by Coopin, Gamble, and Parker. RS 2025-1021, Coopin, Gamble, Parker, resolution authorizing Mel's Dive-In to construct, install, and maintain an aerial encroachment at 148 2nd Avenue North. RS 2025-1022, Webb, Porterfield, Gamble, and Parker, resolution authorizing the Metropolitan Government of Nashville and Davidson County, acting by and through Metro Water Services to enter into a construction agreement with CSX Transportation, Inc. to construct or cause to be constructed wastewater treatment plant improvements and expansion for property at 61 Edenwald Road. RS 2025-1024, Gamble Parker, a resolution to amend ordinance number BL 2024-632 to authorize the Metropolitan Government of Nashville and Davidson County to accept additional sanitary sewer main and sanitary sewer manhole and to update map and parcel information for now 2 properties located at 251 and 227 Nesbitt Lane. RS 2025-1025, Kimbrough Gamble Park, a resolution authorizing Metropolitan Government of Nashville and Davidson County to accept 1 new fire hydrant assembly for property located at 440 Jordonia Station Road, also known as Siskin Steel Building Expansion. RS 2025-1026, Coopin, Gamble, Parker, resolution authorizing Metropolitan Government of Nashville and Davidson County to accept new public sanitary sewer manhole and vertical adjustment of existing sanitary sewer manhole for property located at 1010 Broadway, also known as Yards Landing Development. RS 2025-1027, Gamble Parker, resolution authorizing Metropolitan Government of Nashville and Davidson County to accept new public sanitary sewer manhole for property located at 728 B. Due West Avenue North, also known as Madison Place. RS 2025-1028, Toombs Gamble Park, a resolution authorizing Metropolitan Government of Nashville and Davidson County to accept new public sanitary sewer main and sanitary sewer manhole for property located at 2409 18th Avenue North. RS 2025-10 29, Gamble Park, a resolution authorizing Metropolitan Government of Nashville and Davidson County to accept new public water and sanitary sewer mains, fire hydrant assemblies, and sanitary sewer manholes for property located at 3834 Pinhook Road, also known as Pinhook Ridge. Bills on second reading, Bill 2025-693, Prep T. Porterfield and Gamble, an ordinance approving a lease agreement between the Metropolitan Government of Nashville and Davidson County, acting by and through the Davidson County Clerk's Office and Grace's Plaza LTD for office space at 4009 Hillsborough Pike, Nashville, Tennessee. Bill 2025-695, Porterfield, Gamble, Gadd, and others, an ordinance approving a greenway conservation easement between the Metropolitan Government of Nashville and Davidson County through the Metropolitan Board of Parks and Recreation and 1231 Pawnee Trail LLC for greenway improvements at 1231 Pawnee Trail in Madison, Tennessee. Bill 2025-696, Porterfield, Gadd, and others, an ordinance approving a greenway conservation easement between the Metropolitan Government of Nashville and Davidson County through the Metropolitan Board of Parks and Recreation and Nations Owner LLC for greenway improvements at 1710 54th Avenue North. Bill 2025-697, Spain, Porterfield, Gadd, and others, an ordinance approving a greenway conservation easement between the Metropolitan Government of Nashville and Davidson County through the Metropolitan Board of Parks and Recreation and Highway 100 Investment Partners for greenway improvements at 8033 Highway 100. BL 2025-698, Greg Porterfield, Gadd, and others, an ordinance approving a greenway conservation easement between the Metropolitan Government of Nashville and Davidson County through the Metropolitan Board of Parks and Recreation and M.I. Homes of Nashville, LLC for greenway improvements at 2600 Pennington Bend Road. Bill 2025-699, Gamble Park, an ordinance authorizing the abandonment of unnamed right-of-way between 1321 Pawnee Trail and 1327 Pawnee Trail. BL 2025-700, Gamble Park, an ordinance authorizing the Metropolitan Government of Nashville and Davidson County to acquire permanent and temporary easements through negotiation, condemnation, and acceptance for the Lanier Drive Stormwater Project Improvement Project for 5 properties located on Lanier Drive and Forest Park Road. BL 2025-701, Gamble Park, an ordinance authorizing the Metropolitan Government of Nashville and Davidson County to accept new public water and sanitary sewer mains, fire hydrant assemblies, sanitary sewer manholes, and easements for 2 properties located at 2122 and 2204 Elliott Avenue. Bill 2025-702, Gamble Park, an ordinance authorizing the Metropolitan Government of Nashville and Davidson County to abandon sanitary sewer mains, sanitary sewer manhole, and easements for property located at 2000 Ava Place at Addie Way in Nolensville, also known as Nolensville FSER. Bills on third reading consent, BL 2024-594, Taylor Ellis. An ordinance amending section 1704060 of the Metropolitan Code zoning regulations to add a definition for bar or nightclub and to amend the definition of beer and cigarette market. BL 2024-619, Toombs, an ordinance to amend Title 17 of Metropolitan Code of Laws, the zoning ordinance of Metropolitan Government of Nashville and Davidson County by applying a 2-story overlay district to various properties located east of Tucker Road and southeast of West Hamilton Avenue, all of which described herein. BL 2024-643, Cupid, an ordinance to authorize building material well, I have to take that one with the other one. Okay. Actually, that one will not be on consent. We'll take it with this companion bill after the consent. BL 2024-644, an ordinance, Toombs, an ordinance to amend Title 17 of Metropolitan Code of Laws, the zoning ordinance of Metropolitan Government of Nashville and Davidson County by changing from RS5, RM20A, and MUGA to SP zoning for property located at Lucille Street, unnumbered, approximately 800 feet north of Lucille Street, to permit a mixed-use development and within the Dickerson Pike urban design overlay. BL 2024-645, Toombs, an ordinance to authorize building material restrictions and requirements for BL 2024-644. BL 2024-646, Welch, an ordinance to Amend Title 17 of Metropolitan Code of Laws and Zoning Ordinance of Metropolitan Government of Nashville and Davidson County by changing from RS 7.5 to R6A zoning for properties located at 196A Chilton Street and Chilton Street unnumbered at the southeast corner of Chilton Street and Waller Street. BL 2024-647 and its companion bill 648 by Coupin, an ordinance to amend Title 17 of Metropolitan Code of Laws, the zoning ordinance of Metropolitan Government of Nashville and Davidson County by changing from IR to SP zoning for property located at 1500 3rd Avenue North at the northeast corner of 3rd Avenue North and Van Buren Street, and the companion bill to an ordinance to authorize building material restrictions and requirements for BL 2024-647. BL 2024-649 by Toombs, an ordinance to amend Title 17 of the Metropolitan Code of Laws and zoning ordinance of the Metropolitan Government of Nashville and Davidson County by changing from RS5 to R6A zoning for property located at 1230 Bessie Avenue, approximately 105 feet south of Weekly Avenue, all of which described herein. BL 2024-650 by Welch, an ordinance to amend Title 17 of the Metropolitan Code of Laws, the zoning ordinance of Metropolitan Government of Nashville and Davidson County by changing from RS5 to R6A zoning for property located at 311 Ludi Street, approximately 500 feet east of Nolensville Pike. BL 2024-651, Coupin, an ordinance to amend Title 17 of Metropolitan Code of Laws, the zoning ordinance of Metropolitan Government of Nashville and Davidson County by changing from RS 3.5 and RM 20 to RM 20 NS zoning for property located at 1014 and 1006 Morrison Street and Morrison Street unnumbered within the Phillips Jackson redevelopment district. BL 2024-652 by Toombs, an ordinance to amend Title 17 of Metropolitan Code of Laws, the zoning ordinance of Metropolitan Government of Nashville and Davidson County by changing from R8 to IWD zonings for properties located at 2902 and 2906 Brick Church Pike, approximately 630 feet south of Brick Church Pike Drive. BL 2024-653, Welch, an ordinance to amend Title 17 of Metropolitan Code of Laws, the zoning ordinance of Metropolitan Government of Nashville and Davidson County by changing from RS5 to RM20A NS zoning for property located at 205 Joyner Avenue, approximately 120 feet west of Foster Avenue. BL 2024-654 and its companion bill, BL 2024-655 by Webb, an ordinance to amend Title 17 of Metropolitan Code of Laws and zoning ordinance of the Metropolitan Government of Nashville and Davidson County by amending a specific plan on properties located at 203, 205, 209, 217, 219, 253, 255, 259, and 261 Liberty Lane, 215B, 257B, and 253B Liberty Lane, approximately 250 feet west of People's Court Zoned SP. The companion bill, an ordinance to authorize building material restrictions and requirements for BL 2024-654. BL 2024-656 and its companion Bill 657 by CAP, an ordinance to amend Title 17 of Metropolitan Code of Laws, the zoning ordinance of Metropolitan Government of Nashville and Davidson County by changing from CS to SP zoning for property located at 751 South 5th Street at the northeast corner of South 5th Street and Dew Street to permit a mixed-use development. And the companion bill, an ordinance to authorize building material restrictions and requirements for BL 2024-656. BL 2024-658 and its companion Bill 659 by Benedict, an ordinance to amend Title 17 of the Metropolitan Code of Laws, the zoning ordinance of Metropolitan Government of Nashville and Davidson County by changing from R6 to R8 to SP zoning for properties located at 1201 Keller Avenue and 1202 A, B, and C McGavick Pike, approximately 130 feet east of Bronte Avenue to permit 8 multifamily residential units, and the companion bill, an ordinance to authorize building material restrictions and requirements. BL 2024-660 by Welch, an ordinance to amend Title 17 of Metropolitan Code of Laws, the zoning ordinance of Metropolitan Government of Nashville and Davidson County by changing from RS5 to R6A zoning for property located at 109 J Street, approximately 343 feet east of Foster Avenue, all of which is described herein. BL 2024-661 by Gregg, an ordinance to amend Title 17 of Metropolitan Code of Laws, the zoning ordinance of Metropolitan Government of Nashville and Davidson County by changing from CS to OR 20 to SP zoning for property located at 2811 Patriot Way, Patriot Way, approximately 225 feet south of Allen Road, to permit a self-service storage facility. And this companion bill 662, an ordinance to authorize building material restrictions and requirements. Bill 2024-663, an ordinance to amend Title 17 of the Metropolitan Code of Laws, zoning ordinance of the Metropolitan Government of Nashville and Davidson County by changing from R15 to SP zoning for property located at 7351 Charlotte Pike, approximately 200 feet east of Old Hickory Boulevard, to permit non-residential uses. And its companion bill, BL 2024-664 by Spain, an ordinance to authorize building material restrictions and requirements. Bill 2024-665, BO, an ordinance to amend Title 17 of the Metropolitan Code of Laws and zoning ordinance of the Metropolitan Government of Nashville and Davidson County by changing from MULA to SP zoning for properties located at 500 and 516 Hagan Street at the corner of Chestnut Street and Hagan Street to permit a mixed-use development. And its companion bill, BL 2024-666, an ordinance to authorize building material restrictions and requirements for Bill 2024-665. Bill 2024-667, Toombs, an ordinance to amend Title 17 of Metropolitan Code of Laws and zoning ordinance of Metropolitan Government of Nashville and Davidson County by changing from CS, IWD, SP, and RS5 for SP zoning for various properties along Dickerson Pike and West Trinity Lane at the southwest corner of West Trinity Lane and Dickerson Pike, partially within the Dickerson Pike Sign Overlay District to permit a mixed-use development, and its companion Bill BL 2024-668, an ordinance to authorize building material restrictions and requirements. Bill 2024-669 by Parker, an ordinance to amend Title 17 of Metropolitan Code of Laws and zoning ordinance of Metropolitan Government of Nashville and Davidson County by changing from SP to SP for property located at 516 Meridian Street at the northwest corner of Trutland Avenue and Meridian Street to permit 5 multifamily residential units. And its companion bill, BL 2024-670, an ordinance to authorize building material restrictions and requirements. Bill 2024-671, an ordinance to amend Title 17 of Metropolitan Code of Laws, the zoning ordinance of Metropolitan Government of Nashville and Davidson County by changing from AR2A to RS20 zoning for a part of property located at 935 Barnes Road at the southwest corner of Barnes Road and Old Hickory Boulevard. That's Councilmember Rutherford. Bill 2024-672, Kimbrough, an ordinance to amend Title 17 of Metropolitan Code of Laws, the zoning ordinance of the Metropolitan Government of Nashville and Davidson County by changing from RS10 to R10 zoning for properties located at 1725 South Hamilton Road and 3195 and 3199 Doak Avenue at the northwest corner of Doak, I'm not sure, Avenue and South Hamilton Road. BL 2024-673, VO, an ordinance to amend Title 17 of the Metropolitan Code of Laws and zoning ordinance of the Metropolitan Government of Nashville and Davidson County by changing from IWD to MULANS zoning for properties located at 1247 and 1249 Lewis Street, approximately 200 feet north of Garden Street. BL 2024-674, Benton, an ordinance to amend Title 17 of the Metropolitan Code of Laws and zoning ordinance of Metropolitan Government of Nashville and Davidson County by changing from AR2A to RM9ANS zoning for property located at Una Antioch Pike, approximately 465 feet east of Moss Road. BL 2024-675, Spain, an ordinance to amend Title 17 of Metropolitan Code of Laws, the zoning ordinance of the Metropolitan Government of Nashville and Davidson County by changing from AR2A to RS10 zoning for a portion of property located at McCrory Lane, unnumbered, approximately 700 feet north of Beautiful Valley Drive. And BL 2024-676, Gregg, an ordinance to amend Title 17 of the Metropolitan Code of Laws and zoning ordinance of Metropolitan Government of Nashville and Davidson County by changing from IWD to MUNA zoning for properties located at 179 and 181 Little Green Street, approximately 65 feet southwest of Eager Street. May I have a motion for the consent agenda? Moved and properly seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. Thank you so much. Now moving back to our items that were not on consent, starting with number 21 on your agenda. BL 2024-641 by Councilmember Welch. An ordinance to amend Title 17 of Metropolitan Code of Laws and zoning ordinance of Metropolitan Government of Nashville and Davidson County by amending the preliminary plan for a planned unit development district on property located at 3101 Nolensville Pike at the southwest corner of McLeaver Street and Nolensville Pike Zone CS to permit a car wash, all of which described herein. And there is an amendment. Thank you. Amendment, may I have a second? Moved and properly seconded on the amendment. With Director Darby or the planning, okay, all right. Let me get your mic, I'm sorry, the screen went out on me. Thank you, all right.
Matt Wilkinson with the council office. So the amendment for this legislation adds a couple of conditions related to the operation of the car wash use in the PUD. One, it prohibits automatic car washes from being installed on the property, and it defines what an automatic car wash would be considered. And the other requires all car washing activities to occur indoors.
Thank you. Any questions or comments about the amendment? Without further discussion, all in favor of the amendment, please say aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carried. Now we're on the bill as amended. May I have a second? Thank you. Moved and properly seconded. Any discussion on the bill as amended? Councilmember Allen.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'm just checking. We do have a letter from the sponsor asking for approval. Okay, great.
Yes, we do
I
have
move approval.
Thank you. We do have a letter. Been moved for approval. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. Moving on to number 22 on your agenda, BL 2024-642 by Councilmember Coopin, an ordinance to amend Title 17 of the Metropolitan Code of Laws, the zoning ordinance of the Metropolitan Government of Nashville and Davidson County by amending the River North Urban Design Overlay District for various properties located on Cowan Street, Waterside Drive, Oldham Street, North 1st Street, River North Boulevard, Spring Street, and Cowan Court to update the urban design standards related to structured parking and building materials. May I have, and there is an amendment, and the sponsor is here, so I will go to the sponsor. Well, first we want to move the amendment. May I have a motion?
Move the amendment.
And a second. Move the bill first?
Move the bill.
Okay, thank you. We move the bill. Moved and properly seconded. Now for the amendment.
Move the bill.
Thank you. Councilmember Coopin, you're recognized.
Thank you, Chair. This amendment just cleaning up a little bit of the language. We were talking to some of the property owners in the area. They had some questions and concerns. We had some good meetings about that, and I think this amendment addresses what was shared. So I would appreciate my colleagues' support as we work through this. Thanks so much.
Thank you. Any comments or discussion on the amendment? All those in favor, please say aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. Now on the bill as amended. Any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. Thank you. And that concludes the companion bill we should have taken with 22. We'll go on and take the companion bill 2024-643, an ordinance to authorize building material restrictions and requirements for BL 2024-642. May I have a motion? Moved and properly seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. Now that concludes the consent agenda, or everything on our agenda. We'll move now to the discussion with Mr. Greg Claxton. Thank you so much for being here. I've got your mic on.
Great. Thank you, Chair. Good afternoon, council members. Greg Claxton with Metro Nashville Planning Department. I'm going to present an update on the capital improvements budget as we begin developing it for FY26. As a reminder, the role of the CIB, any capital improvement costing more than $50,000 and having a lifespan of greater than 10 years has to be included in the CIB. However, inclusion in the CIB doesn't guarantee funding. The CIB only lays out what Metro could spend money on. The document includes 6 years worth of projects, but is only binding on the first year. And so once a project is in the CIB, it needs some other source of funding, approval by council, to actually be implemented. Most of these are general obligation bonds through a capital spending plan. but there are also projects that use revenue bonds, 4% funds, enterprise funds, or federal or state funding. And then last, as just an introductory reminder, the annual cycle started in October when y'all submitted requests for projects to remain in the CIB or suggest new projects. We are a little bit behind on our report back to you. For that, I apologize. But we have been working with departments to assess those since then. Departments are beginning to submit their projects. In April, we'll have a combined CIB to present to the Planning Commission, who will vote to recommend it to the mayor. In May, the mayor releases his draft, and then that goes back to this body for final vote and adoption in June. There are two documents that we have for your review to close out this kind of council request cycle. The first is a report. This is now online at the website listed below. When council staff sent out their email earlier, they only had a worksheet. I'll touch on that in a moment. This report lists all of the projects associated with your district, both those you identified to remain in the CIB or that you asked to be added to it. All projects associated with a district, whether by council member request, last year's prioritization, or a department requesting the project, are included. And you'll see projects are identified by a project ID. Those that were in a previous CIB are sort of a 2-digit number, a 2-letter for a department code, and then a number. New requests for this year are shown as a 2-digit number for the year being submitted, then a 2-digit for your the district requesting, and then a number. Departments reviewed these projects to develop their requests as well as identify any known issues with the project. And then we assess them against Nashville Next, both the growth and preservation concept map as well as the guiding principles. In some cases, we are still waiting on responses from departments. And so as those get completed, we will add those into this report and into the prioritization spreadsheet. And then last, in some cases, departments identified an issue that they saw with implementing a project. In some cases, the work has been done or is underway, or the project has been funded, or it may not be feasible for one reason or another. We've tried to highlight that in our planning comment as shown here, wherever that's the case, just with a recommendation. This may not need to be included in the CIB, or there may need to be further discussion and coordination with the department to identify like what is the right way to represent this in the CIB. All of that is within the report document that is online on our website. Council staff sent out the other document for your prioritization. This is the priority worksheet. It's structured as you see here. We're a first column where you can enter priority points. You've got kind of the recommendation for inclusion in the CIB, the ID number, the project title, cost estimates. And then if you scroll to the right, there's a long list of sort of columns for each district. You can use that to filter down. If you unclick blanks, you can filter down to just the projects that we have associated with your district. It's a very long spreadsheet. There's a lot of projects that are associated with districts, so we know it's a little bit unwieldy. And then last, the goal of this worksheet is for you to identify your priorities for your district or for the county at large and submit those to council staff. As a reminder, the priority process hasn't changed from last year. You'll have 100 points per council member to distribute with no more than 50 points on an individual project.
Oh, sorry. And just to build upon that, in addition to the point limitations, there were also a couple more directives that were from last year that the chairs of the Planning and Zoning Committee and the Finance Committee carried over for this year. One is that district council members should prioritize projects that benefit your district. However, you're not restricted to only prioritizing district projects. And then for at-large council members, you should prioritize regional and county-wide projects rather than district-specific projects. I will also note that a lot of this information was also included in the email associated with the worksheet that got sent out. So if you have concerns or questions about the prioritization worksheet or the process, feel free to email me or call me or stop in or whatever is most convenient for you, and we'll work on answering that. And if you have questions regarding the general CIB, reach out to Greg Claxton over at Planning. And I think that was everything.
Thank you. Questions, Councilmember Allen?
Thank you. So can you talk about how the department process that is still ongoing interacts with this list that we're going to be looking at and prioritizing? If they add something nifty that we really like, will there be an opportunity?
So the areas where we're still developing estimates are just within, like, all of those projects are included in the report and the worksheet. It's just that they may not always, they won't have cost estimates. And that is what the departments are still working on.
Gotcha.
So it's just the cost piece. Departments are developing their own requests for the upcoming CIP, but just out of timing, that never aligns with this process.
Okay, thank you.
Further discussion? Mr. Claxton, I do have a question. You mentioned there's some places in the report where it says see comments from the department, but the comments aren't on the report. Where can we find those comments?
Thank you. So in the worksheet, we will occasionally have a note to that effect, and that's just highlighting something that the department contributed. You can find those in the full PDF report, not the worksheet. It got too cluttered to put it all into the worksheet. When we spoke earlier, that wasn't online yet, but we found out that in the last 20, 30 minutes, ITS got it posted.
So the PDF is online on the planning site?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Is there any way we can get that sent to us?
Yeah, and I will say that the link to that, the webpage that has the document was included in the January 31st email that had the letter to this. I can send it out again if that would be preferred. And then I will also note that the deadline to complete your prioritization is February 12th. No late submissions.
Thank you, and it would be helpful if you can resend that link to us so we don't have to look for it. Any other questions, comments? All right, and if anything comes up later, you can always reach out to Mr. Wilkerson or Mr. Claxton and get your questions answered. All right, without further ado, we'll adjourn. Thank you.